So in this video, we're going to be looking at adding, multiplying, subtracting, and multiplying surds. And the rules are exactly the same as you use in normal algebra. So you can think of surd as x. So if you had 4x plus 2x, you have 6 lots of x. Just like with surds, if you have 4 lots of square root 5 plus 2 lots of square root 5, you're going to have 6 lots of square root 5. It works the same with subtracting. So if you had 5x, take 8x, you have 5 lots of x, take 8, you actually get negative 3 lots of x. It's exactly the same for surds. So it'll be 5 lots of square root 3, take 8 lots of square root 3. So you have negative 3 lots of square root 3. So adding and subtracting, really straightforward. Multiplying is the same, but a little bit more tricky. So we've got some double brackets. We're going to use FOIL. We've got perfect square. So we're going to do some expanding. So whatever number's out the front of the brackets, single brackets like this, we're going to multiply the square root 3 by the 4 and the square root 3 by that. So square root 3 times 4 is just going to be 4 lots of square root 3. We can't simplify it any more. We've just got 4 lots of square root 3. Now, square root 3 times square root 3. So if we multiply these two together, what's square root 3 times square root 3? Well, we learned about that in the last lesson. Square root 3 multiplied by square root 3 is going to give us 3. So this is actually going to be square root 3 times square root 3 is 3, and times by negative 2. So it's going to be negative 2 times 3. And then if we simplify this, we're still going to have the 4 lots of square root 3, take 6. We can't simplify it any further because they're different. It's almost like 4x take 6. Can't simplify it any further. Now this next one, we're going to use double brackets. So first, outers, inners, last. So square root 3 times square root 3 is 3. Square root 3 times negative 2 is negative 2 lots of square root 3. 5 times square root 3 is 5 lots of square root 3. And then 5 times minus 2 is negative 10. And then we can simplify this further because we've got 3 take 10. Remember the negative belongs to the 10, so 3 take 10 is negative 7. And then negative 2 lots of square root 3 plus 5 lots of square root 3. So that's going to give us negative 2 plus 5 is positive 3 lots of square root 3. See, I'm going to do over here. So when something's all squared like this, we can either use the binomial expansion. So this is really going to be, or we can do it as square root 7 plus 3 times by square root 7 plus 3. I don't care how you do it. I'm going to use the binomial expansion. So it's going to be square root 7 squared plus, and then the second row of Pascal's triangle is 1, 2, 1. So it's going to be 2 lots of square root 7 times by 3 plus 3 squared. My pen is not working, that's a 3. So it's going to be square root 7 squared, which is 7, because square root 7 times 7 is 7. And then 2 lots of square root 7, 3. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so we'll have 6 lots of square root 7. And then we'll have 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. Which we can then simplify to 7 plus 9 is 16, plus 6 lots of square root 7. To save time, I might not do them all. This is just a repeat, but with a negative. And in all honesty, if you want, you can just do it as double brackets. I would probably, in all honesty, less chance of making a mistake if you just do it as double brackets like this. I'm not going to get you to do this unless it's just squaring. Now this is the difference of 2 squares. So if you have square root 7 plus 2 multiplied by square root 7 take 2, what ends up happening is the middle terms cancel out. So FOIL would be square root 7 times by square root 7, which will be 7. And then square root 7 times minus 2, which is minus 2 lots of square root 7. And then we're going to have positive 2 lots of square root 7. And then finally we're going to have negative 4. So when you recognise this pattern, it's called the difference of two squares. You may or may not have done it in year 10. But if you recognise this pattern, you can jump straight to the answer, which in this case was square root 7 times square root 7, which is 7, take 4. Because minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. And finally, that simplifies to 7 take 4 is 3. So if you notice this difference of two square patterns, you can skip straight from here to here. Because you know that the middle terms are going to cancel. But only if it's plus square root 7 plus 2 and square root 7 take 2. Or it could be square root 5 plus 2, square root 5 take 2. As long as it's the same but just a difference in signs in the middle. That's called the difference of two squares. I'll quickly do this last example. So I'm going to use FOIL. There's no special patterns here. So we'll have 3 lots of square root 5 times square root 5. Well, square root 5 times square root 5 will give us positive. Will just give us 5. So it'll be 3 times 5. And then we're going to have 3 square root 5 times negative 5. So 3 times negative 5 is negative 15 square root 5. And then we're going to have negative 2 lots of square root 5, because negative 2 times square root 5 will just give us negative 2 lots of square root 5. And then finally we'll have negative 2 times negative 5, and a negative times a negative is a positive, so it'll be plus 10. I don't know why it keeps changing slide, it's actually doing my head in. Technology. So finally we have 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 10 is 25. And then we've got negative 15 lots of square root 5. Take 2 lots of square root 5. So that'll actually be negative 17 lots of square root 5. And I swear I'm getting really frustrated that it keeps changing slide. Alright, have a go at these questions on page 324, just every second. Let me know if you have any issues. Thank you.